Hey guys, how's it going? So in this video I want to talk about grief. So for those of you who may not know, my mom passed away in October of 2023. She had urothelial carcinoma, which is a cancer that started in her bladder and then it spread throughout her body. And she was in hospice care in Mount Pleasant for quite some time. I was going up to see her every day, back and forth for 2 weeks straight. And on the night of October 19th, it was a Thursday night, her breathing started to get heavy. And everybody else went home for the night, and I stayed, because I always stayed until 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes I get there late in the morning, or, like right at noon. And I'd stay all day with Ma, every single day for 2 weeks. But around 8 o'clock on the night of Thursday, October 19th, her breathing started to become labored. She would have trouble breathing. And I panicked. I started to panic because she was breathing really hard. And I'm rubbing her hand, I'm holding her hand, I'm telling her, come on, Mama, breathe. Come on, breathe, Mama, breathe. And then she stopped breathing. And I said, oh, dear God, don't do this to me. Got a nurse. They came in with a stethoscope, held it to her heart, and they said, I'm sorry, Jared, but she's passed. She's gone. And I lost it. I started overturning tables and chairs, punching the walls. And Dad was on his way with my brother Jay, and they were speeding. They were trying to get up to Mount Pleasant as quickly as they could. Dad ended up getting pulled over for speeding. He didn't get a ticket, but by the time they got there, Mom was already gone. It was too late. Mom died in my hands. And since then, I haven't been taking it as well as I thought I would have. Most days are okay, but I still think about my mom. I have dreams about her. And in this video, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about grief, because grief has no time limit. Grief has no time limit. And for those of you who are watching this and you think that grief has a time limit, or someone told you to get over the passing of someone, tell them to fuck off. You can grieve as long as you want. You can grieve until the day you die. There is no time limit on grief. I may never get over losing my mom the way I did. For the longest time, I blamed myself, because I thought maybe there was something I could have done. I could have been a little more proactive, a lot more quicker on my feet, and getting medical attention brought to her. But here's the situation. Here's a scenario. My mom had DNR orders set in place. Do not resuscitate. She was taking chemo and radiation. She knowingly and willingly stopped treatment. She stopped. She quit. It was her choice. It was her decision. And so even if they would have revived her or tried to revive her, they could have been sued. Someone could have gotten in serious trouble, because she had do not resuscitate orders in place. But even with that being said, I felt guilty for not having done something. I could have been more proactive, or I could have done something to have Mom here with me and my brother and family and friends. I feel like I could have been quicker and done something more to keep her with us, at least for another week or another month or whatever. But it was her time. And I blame myself for that for the longest time. I even thought that maybe I let my family down for not being quicker, because I was the only one in the room. And it had taken me a while to accept the fact that there was nothing I could have done then. There was nothing I could have done. Even if Mom didn't have the DNR order set in place, there still wouldn't have been anything that could have been done. Do not resuscitate means do not resuscitate. But I'm still grieving over the loss of my mom. You know, she was 61 when she died, very young. And she was the same age as my grandma when she died. My grandma died in 1986 at the age of 61. She had congestive heart failure. And I was only 3 months old at the time. She died on October 7th, 1986. So I would have just been turning 3 months old. My mom grieved the death of her mom for the rest of the time that my mom was alive, all the way until she died. My mom grieved her brothers and sisters, but more so her mother, my grandma, Beulah. And I think that was a life lesson for me. And I can say from personal experience, there is no time limit on grief. There's just no time limit. My mother, like I said, she grieved over the death of my grandma, her mom, for the next 37 years after she died. And so there's just no time limit. And anybody who tells you there's a time limit, tell them to fuck off. There is no time limit. They don't get to decide for you when you should stop grieving. Just like I had someone tell me that, well, you knew your mom was going to die, because I was crying about it. I'm still sad and heartbroken about my mom passing away. And some fool decided that it would be wise to say something so cruel and heartless as to say, well, you knew it was going to happen. It doesn't fucking matter if I knew it was going to happen. Whether or not you know someone's going to die or if it's unexpected, it makes not one bit of difference. It hurts when you lose somebody. Death is permanent. It is a cessation of life. There is no time limit on grief. Death is forever. Death is permanent. So why should there be a time limit on grief? There's not. And I hope this video will help shed some light on those of you who may be grieving and you feel that the grief is never ending, or some jerk decided to tell you that you should stop grieving over the loss of someone because it's been an X amount of years. Tell them to fuck off. Tell them I told them they can fuck off. Because there is no time limit on grief. None. I miss my mom every single day in my life. And it's only been, on January 19th will be 3 months since I lost my mama. And I miss her every single day in my life. What I wouldn't do to get her back. I'd move heaven and earth to get my mom back. I cut off my fucking arm to get my mom back. But she did tell me, my mom told me, she says, I would much rather die before I bury one of my own children. And that was deep and profound. Because I believe what she said. She says, I'd rather die before I bury one of my own children. She almost did. A couple times. Well, the only 2 children she had. My brother Jay and myself. My mom and my brother almost died together as my mom was giving birth to Jay because Jay was almost 13 pounds at birth. And of course, me having cancer as a child, yeah. So we both had a close call with death, my brother and I, and we lost our mom in October. So we're getting through it as best we can. We have our moments, we have our days. It seems like I have my days more frequently, and I'm not trying to compare grief with my brother because I can't speak for my brother. He may have more grieving moments than I do. I don't know. We both grieve in our own way. We don't compare grief. We don't compare, who hurts more than the other. We don't compare. We don't tell each other, well, you should grieve more for mom or grieve less for mom. We don't do that. We handle it in our own way. And I don't tell anyone how to grieve. I don't tell anyone how to grieve. There's no time limit to grief or how long you should grieve for someone. You grieve for the rest of your fucking life if you want to grieve for somebody. Because you loved that person. You love them enough that you will grieve for the rest of your life. And it's okay. It's okay to grieve. Grieving is helpful. It's healthy. It can get you through some pretty rough times just to cry it out. And I've done a lot of crying over the past 3 months. And I'll cry some more for Ma. Because I love and miss her every day. And you love and miss your loved ones. It's okay to grieve. Just when you think, okay, I'm good, I'm over it. Nah. You'll never be over it. And it's okay. It's okay. But I hope this video helps you. And just know that you're not alone in grieving for someone that you've lost. Because I'm having it kind of rough too right now. Like I said, I have my good and bad days. Most days are okay, but I have my moments. I have frequent moments where I'll think about my mom. I'll think of I'll listen to a song that'll remind me of her. So those little triggers that will set me off. I can think about, Mom when I'm listening to a song. When I see anything that's purple, because Mom, her favorite color was purple. Even going, down Chapin Road by the old farmhouse, I think of Mom, and I'll start to cry. And just little things will set me off. I see a beautiful sunset. I'll think of Mom, I'll start crying. I'll be in my kitchen drinking a cup of coffee, and I'll watch the blue jays fly by my kitchen window, and I'll think of Mom, and I'll start crying. I miss her a lot. So it's okay to cry, and it's okay to grieve. There's no time limit on grief. And that's the message that I wanted to convey in this video. So have a good one.